Hey guys, Dustin with the Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube, and today I'm here with Junior.
What up?
And we're back with another tier list video. This one is gonna be a pretty beefy
3 hour long.
3 hours later.
Facts.
But no, for real. So today we're doing a tier list video on the F-150 generation, so 14 total generations. It's gonna be a lot to talk about.
F series gasser generations.
Yeah, that's true, because like F-100 and what,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. We're
You
just
get the
going,
idea.
yes, that. So before we do that, if you guys need wheels, tires, suspension, or accessories like performance parts, because we carry those now, customoffsets.com. You want to explain what a tier list is?
So basically, there's this thing called a tier list, and there's boxes and colors, and it goes S, A, B, C, D, E, F. And S
Wait,
is
can you do
like,
that again?
No. S, A, B, C, D, E, F.
Damn.
S is like the super amazing best of the world tier, and then A, B, C, D, E, F. For some reason there's an E in there, but like in the grading system there's not E, so you can figure that one out. Or the whole fact that we use the imperial system to measure shit when the whole rest of the world uses metric. But hey, we're not gonna do that either.
It's our video, we do what we want.
Also true. So we're gonna go through all 14 of them and rank them in our very biased opinions.
Very biased opinions.
On what we think that each of the generations from the first gen F-150 or first gen Ford all the way to the 14th generation F-150 and where it falls on the list and why.
I'm very excited for this one because with every other tier list we've done, I knew that you and I would be pretty polar opposite.
Yeah.
But this one is gonna be
Ford's got so
spicy.
many good generations that this was a hard one. I wanted to put like half of them that I didn't know because they were old as shit on like the downside of it, and then the other half on up. I don't know. We'll see.
It'll be interesting. I'm gonna reference my notes a ton on this one because there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way I'm remembering
And
14
mine too.
generations. Starting with the first gen.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, C.
A. C.
A tier. Wow.
I had to pick A tier just because it's like the first ever Ford pickup. You know how iconic that shit is?
You know how iconic that shit is? Oh God, here we go.
All right, that's fair. Listen, it's a C tier for me. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think that some of the newer generation, not newer in terms of like 2000s plus, but some of the later generations look a lot better than that first gen. It was, again, I get it, right? It was 1948, I think.
Something like that.
Times were weird, man. World War II was just done. We were trying to like rebuild Japan and stuff, and Ford was like, hey, let's make a pickup truck and make it look kind of like a military truck. And so they did.
But a bubble.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't hate them. I just don't love them. Moving right along. Second gen. Are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1,
E.
S. Oh man, that's an S tier for me.
What?
All day, every day. They're beautiful. When I look at that second generation F-150, and God forbid I don't know exactly what years, right? It escapes me. But when I look at that body style truck, I want to clear coat over the patina. I want to put some big old bubble chromey boys on it with some white wall tires, with like the i6 that made 110 horsepower, and I just want to cruise up in Door County on Sunday.
You couldn't have done that with the first gen?
No, I don't like that one. I like this one more.
Doesn't that one have like the weird like grill with nostril looking thing?
Yeah, and it's fantastic.
Hey.
It's fantastic.
That's why I give that one an E.
Oh my God, you're gross. Why do I like you?
So honestly, other than the first generation, like second, third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth,
And 7th and 9th and 10th?
they're all like,
Oh God, all right. So I thought we were gonna maybe align on this one, but obviously not. Third gen.
all right.
3, 2, 1, D.
D.
Whoa.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. All right, yeah, I don't.
It's just one of those in-between generations, I feel like, where it like kind of was there, but it wasn't anything iconic for me, and like obviously this is like way before my time, so I don't know anything. Like I didn't cruise around one when I was young or anything like that, so I'm like, I don't know, it was just there.
Yeah, they didn't really do anything for me either. They're, again, not bad trucks, they obviously helped in making the F-150 what it is today, but not my cup of tea. Up next is the 4th gen, otherwise known as the dent side F-150. Ready? 3, 2, 1, A. All right, okay.
Dude, this is like the changing of the body of the Fords, right? Like all of a sudden they went from this bubbly, weird looking thing to like, that looks like a pickup body.
Yeah.
They brought the I-beam, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing considering having my Bronco and I'm not overly a fan of it, but they started introducing the first ever like IFS systems in these things, and like it was the start of something new.
Yeah, they're
It's like this, like the High School Musical song. It's like the start of something
I'm out.
new.
I'm sorry, I don't, listen, I had younger sisters that watch the High School Musical, not for me. I was too busy watching Twister But yeah, for all of those reasons, other than the weird High School Musical tangent we just went on, I think that the Dentside's a fantastic truck, man. I had a buddy that had one with a 460 in high school on a like 8 inches of lift or something, and it was rowdy. It was 6 different colors. One of them was purple, actually. It was a little bit weird, but you know, they're cool trucks. I dig them. 5th gen. Okay. 3, 2, 1, B.
Whoa, there's only a couple of them so far.
Okay, all right.
Otherwise, we're pretty much spot on.
Yeah, I like these trucks. They look good. It was a good step up and kind of a refresh from the Dentside trucks. Follows a lot of like really iconic early 70s styling, which you know would have been in that same time frame.
Which is interesting because you brought up the C10s, and these do look a lot like them. Yet the C10 it's like when you put the two side by side, people are picking the C10 all day long.
Yeah.
I don't know why. When this is literally the same, it's like the Ford version of it. Like they look very similar, but people just pick the C10s.
Even into like the nose, you know, like on the top of the hood with that like dip around and the wrap back on the headlights. They're a very, very similarly styled truck, which is interesting. But yeah, they're neat trucks. I like them.
They're almost underrated because the fact that the C10 just kind of overshadows it. But.
Yeah, and maybe it's just that you can't. You know, I will say that at least up here, it's way easier to find a C10 than it is to find a 5th gen F1, you know, F100, F150, whatever it is at that point.
Yeah, can't call it.
But yeah, they're much harder to find up here. So I don't know if it's just production numbers or what. But.
Who knows?
6th generation F-150. Are you ready?
No.
3, 2, 1, C. We're neck and neck at this point, dude.
So here's the weird thing, though.
Chalk behind the camera looks like he's about to cry right now.
I have a 6th gen.
You do?
I didn't even know that. Where is it? Why have I not seen it?
It's up in Wausau.
That's not that far. Drive it home. So anyway, 6th gen F-150.
Yeah, they're cool. They're not like over the top for me, but I do like them. So I was like, they're not like a DEF for me. They're definitely in my top like 3, if you want to call it.
They're
that type of
passing
thing.
grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like them. It's just not my favorite, but I didn't want them like buried on the bottom. So I was like, it has to be at least a C minimum. So like that's kind of where I landed on.
Literally the same thing. Like I don't hate them. I don't love them. They're neat. They're not for me, but they're definitely a good truck. And you know, I think that again, when you look at the lineage of those trucks, they were like the first F100/F150 series truck that had like disc brakes in the front.
Fun fact, halfway through this body style, they created the F-150.
Okay, 7th gen F-150.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, B.
B.
Did you say D or B?
D.
Oh, I thought
Lost
we were
our streak.
aligned.
I don't know. They just there's better body styles out there. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I'm partial to them. I don't know. It was one of the first body styles that you could get 2 V8 options, the 5-liter and the 5.8. Was also, I believe, the first one that offered power like windows and locks and shit. That's such a minuscule thing to rate a truck generation on, but it's like, that was revolutionary at the time, you know?
Now you have massaging seats and infotainment centers that are 14 inches tall.
Rams putting in iPads in their dash now, like it's crazy. But at the time, that was huge. That's back before car phones even, or you know. So like, to put that into context is pretty cool. So we are getting into juniors territory.
I am up to speed. From here on out, I know what the f I'm talking about.
8th gen F-150. Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
F.
What are you doing?
You know why?
Why?
Because they make the Bronco in an 8th and a 9th gen. And people with the 8th gen think they have a 9th gen Bronco, and they look nothing alike, and they're so ugly compared to the 9th
Okay,
gens.
hold on, pause. Dakota Stone from FI is calling me. Hello, Dakota. You are live on an episode of Tier List with me and Junior.
Hey, I'm so happy to be a part of Tier List.
Yay!
What do you rate the 8th gen F-150s?
8th gen F-150s?
Yeah, A to F, or S to F. What's your rating?
Is that the one, do they have EcoBoost?
All right. So you were mad.
Yeah, they're ugly. They're
Wait,
like.
why are you angry because they make one that, so just because they make a Bronco in the 8th gen, now you're angry about it?
No, not because
Which
they
is
make a Bronco
outside
in
of the
the 8th
scope of
gen.
the F. Are you ready?
Nope.
Are you ready?
Yes.
The pinnacle moment of this entire video is right here.
I've been waiting for this
The
the whole time.
9th gen OBS F-150.
Let's go!
3, 2.
S.
I'm also an S. Listen, this truck is my childhood. This is it. This is like
I am a child, and it is my childhood too.
literally. I already knew you were gonna be an S because we'll go there in a second. But for me, man, this body style F-150 just did it. It was the perfect amount of 90s nostalgia, but also technological advances with like some of the radio and the interior and stuff like that. They looked good. They performed great. The F-150s that had the 351 had the 1-ton transmission in them.
Yep.
I only know that because we changed one on my buddy's truck, and it literally was the size of my entire body. They're massive. They're built heavy. They're just really good trucks.
Yeah, the options they had was the 5.0 or the 5.8.
Yep.
The trucks were solid, and
Don't forget the i6. They had that little inline 6.
They did.
Which were fantastic engines. Those inline 6s were so reliable, the rest of the truck would fall apart around it. I'm serious. The rest of the truck and like the suspension, everything would literally rot away, and you would be left with the i6 and the 5-speed transmission, and they would just purr. It was great.
And like you said, so like the 90s nostalgia is there. The interiors, you can see, are kind of getting more towards the 2000s route with them. They get a little bit newer, which at this day and age, I feel like is almost a bad thing because it doesn't feel old inside. It feels like a wannabe newer truck.
Yeah.
But that's why there's so many options out there for modifying the interiors, customizing it, all of that shit. The exteriors are like perfect. Like obviously I've had 3 of them now. Like I literally just went and bought out an OBS dually because they are
you own
good
2 of them
looking.
now.
Yeah, I own 2 of them. I've owned 3 total.
Yeah.
And when I had my 97 F-150, you know how badly I just wished it was 1 year older to be a 96 OBS.
Yeah, to be the OBS
instead of a
body
10th
style.
gen, which we'll get to. But
Yeah.
oh, there's a place in my heart for those, even with LS swaps in them, that I just
They're
love
just
them.
fantastic trucks, man. All around, they're good trucks, and they're easy to work on, and they were pretty reliable. You know, yeah.
Favorite.
10th gen.
I'm also an expert on this one too.
Because you had one, right?
Yep.
All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
F.
Yeah, dude.
All right, so let me get this out there quick. Right, I had
You're putting
my
the cell
first
phone away.
truck
This is getting intense.
was a 10th gen F-150, which at the time it was great because I got it for $400 from my grandparents. It was a Lariat. It was 2-wheel drive out of Texas, clean as shit, except for the fact that it had been rolled over, so the whole side of it was kind of smashed in. It had this little engine called a Triton V8 5.4 liter. They don't like spark plugs too much.
No.
Yeah, and they're a pain in the ass to replace.
Correct.
And that engine, I feel like, they should have kept like the 5.0 or they like changed it, right? They went to this weird body style that was like bubbly. It wasn't boxy like 90s anymore, but it didn't look like the 04, 08, 11th gens either. It was literally like its own in-between of blobby ugliness
Blobbiness.
that I didn't even know had so much hate for
Yeah.
until I had had mine for like 2 years and realized why everyone in the Ford communities hated them. There are pages out there like 10th gen F-150 like pages and shit, and they're all over the place and it's a big thing, but then like when you step outside of that little community, you realize that everyone shits
nobody
on
likes them.
Yeah.
And you have to take into account where Ford was at the time, right? Coming into the end of the 90s, fuel economy and stuff and aerodynamics were becoming really prevalent. And so I think that much like the 6-liter, I feel like the 5.4 was Ford trying to like look forward and say, okay, we need to be ahead of this ball game. The problem is that they didn't do it well.
Right.
And so what you had is spark plugs that would literally yeet themselves out of the engine block just randomly.
Yep.
And just not good. The body style was not super well thought out. And I also feel like the 10th gen gets a lot of hate because it followed up the 9th gen.
Yeah.
Right.
They had big shoes to fill.
So if you had the 8th gen F-150 between the OBS and the 10th gen, it maybe wouldn't get so much hate, right? Because you would have like a gradual transition. But you came out of the 90s when Ford was rocking out, right? And then they just crashed. It's bad. Okay, 11th gen F-150. 3, 2, 1, E.
So the only reason I rated it E, because I had it as an F and I swapped some things around to make it an E because the body style got better, right?
Marginally.
The engine did not. They went from the 2-valve 5.4 to the 3-valve 5.4 and it had even more spark plug issues.
Yeah, and there was another issue with those two. I forget what it is. water pump or something else that would cause catastrophic failure. So it's like, here's a problem. Let's kind of not improve it and then add more, because why not? It's great time.
But they had like the hood with the grill attached, so when you popped it up, it was all one piece. I thought that was kind of cool. It was like different. It was all one piece. It was, I don't know, just some kind of.
It was different. Yeah. Not nuts over them at all. Not one of my favorite body styles by any means. But.
And like, I don't know, the headlights, you can see from the 10th gen to 11th, it's kind of the same headlight shape, more or less, just more streamlined. But the body itself, I do like how the body got to be a little bit more of what Ford is now.
It had some definition to it. Yeah, it wasn't just like bubbly.
Yeah, exactly. It was like the, what was it, 3rd gen from back in the day when 4th gen went from bubbly to like more normal. It's like the same thing now, right? The 11th gen was like the start of the modern style, because the 10th gen did not do it.
Correct. This just wasn't about it.
Yep.
We're on what, 12th gen? 3, 2, 1,
B.
C. Yeah, I don't hate them, I don't love them.
So when I was in high school with my 10th gen, the 12th gen was the new one at the time, and that made me want one really bad, right? They're solid trucks, I like them, but yeah, I like the generations that came out after them then, because they basically took the 12th gen solid, really good.
Yeah, they're
took
good
that
trucks.
And just improved on it for the generations to follow, and I think it kind of set like the precedent for like, all right, here's what a truck kind of is supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Other than the V6 twin turbo, that was like.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked EcoBoost when it first came out. I thought it was super neat because it was the first time that you saw a truck manufacturer say, hey, America, we see you and we get it. You want a truck, you maybe don't need a 5-liter to tow around a bunch of heavy shit, but you still want to be able to pick up plywood from Menards on the weekends, you know? And they made a truck for that guy, which was
And you
awesome.
want it to sound like poop when you put an exhaust on
Well,
it.
yeah, unless it's like a Corsa and then all you hear is just turbo. So, lucky number 13th gen. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1,
C.
A. Oops. Do you not like these trucks?
I don't hate them, but I like the 12th gen more for what it was. So it kind of just, I had to do some soul searching there.
Okay,
My
all right.
Gingerless soul, and figured out that the 13th gen was lower than 12th gen for me.
See, I did the same, but opposite also because I don't have a soulless ginger soul.
You have a soul?
Yes, I have a soul. There's one, it's there, right?
Somewhere.
It's real, somewhere, very small. Anyway.
Are we still talking about souls here?
Oh! All right, I'm going. See you guys later. But no, for real, I enjoy these trucks. I think that they took everything about the last generation and made it just a little bit better. Obviously, the second EcoBoost option came with these trucks. Their first aluminum truck, which created a ton of freaking uproar in the market because how are you ever going to be able to afford body work? Like, you know, we can't weld aluminum, or, you know, the tools to do aluminum work don't exist or haven't existed for the last 300 years. So
It's unobtainium.
But it's cool stuff. I really like it. I love the interior on this truck. I think Ford had a really good thing going, and especially as you get up into like the limiteds and the platinums and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they optioned them really, really well.
Yeah, I do like them. I like the way they look. At first, I wasn't sure how I liked the front ends, which is like every time a new body style comes out, right? Like you're used to the one that's been out for 5 years, and then the new one comes out, and you're like not sure about the shape and everything like that. But like they definitely did grow on me. I wasn't sure at first. And like everything you said, I love them. They're solid trucks. Just that 12th gen just kind of holds that like nostalgic place for me. Where it was like in high school, it was like that's the one that you want to have.
That's the one.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
just kind of had to pick and choose.
I feel 14th gen F-150, brand new,
Brand spanking new.
brand new. 3.
Do you think halfway through this generation they're gonna like swap the headlight
Of course,
style, or
because
pick a
that's
different
what
engine or transmission? Or some shit?
something, because that's what Ford does. They can't leave anything alone ever, ever.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. 3, 2, 1, A.
S.
Ooh, S tier.
This and my 9th gen are both top. 9th gen's a little
So
bit taller though.
you have an OBS and a brand new F-150.
Yes. I love what they did with the headlights. I don't know why. It's more like the GMCs, I feel like, which I love the GMCs, and it's kind of that one piece with the big like running light around. I don't know. Just
They did the Super Duty style headlights, and it looks really good.
Yeah,
Really, really
I
good.
like them a lot. I don't know, and it's got everything the last couple generations have had, just newer, bundled in together and everything, like brand new. So it's going to be top of the line, which who knows in 8 years if that's going to be outdated as or if it's
Correct.
going to be still like cool new tech. I don't know.
Yeah, I like them. I think they did a lot of really cool stuff. I love the just like additional add-on stuff that they're implementing now, like the you know, like the power inverter in the bed and stuff like
Yep.
that. Like if you're gonna use your truck, Ford has built or made it possible for you to
Built
build
for
your truck for actual work, you know? So pretty cool stuff there. I don't know. I would rate this an S if and only if and when they put the Voodoo in the Raptor.
The what?
The GT350 engine. If they put the
Oh.
GT350 engine in the Raptor R,
We didn't even talk about Raptors.
it doesn't matter.
They're
It's
F-150s.
tied together.
But we didn't even mention them.
Oh, there's
That's why the 12th gen is such a good place, because the Raptors came out with Gen 1s.
Yeah, it is a big, weird, bubbly body style with a V8 that didn't really make all that much power.
Yeah,
and,
it did. It just sucked a lot of gas down.
Well, there's that, I guess. Listen, okay,
And then they swapped to a V6 Raptor. Like, that's going to
twin
do so
turbo
much better.
V6, and
so
it
is
looked
F-150.
better. It looked way better.
They just take the same engine and be like, you know, we'll just turn the tune up on this and all.
It just looked way better. It looked way better.
It looks more stacked.
The second gen
Doesn't look anywhere
Raptor
near
looks
as
way
aggressive.
better. Listen, okay, whatever, we're out of here. We could do a whole nother bit on just those two generations because that's what it is. That's another tier list for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Junior, thank you for being a part of it.
Hell yeah.
It's always fun to have you here. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so we can keep making cool videos like this and you can watch Junior and I banter on camera some more.
We got way more generations of vehicles to do.
We got a lot more to do. Stay tuned. Peace.